It's that time of the month again, time for a new character and a new box to support said character. This time around, we have Kaboom and her iconic trains, a series of level 4 and 10 Earth machines focused on quickly generating rank 10 exceeds monsters, specifically in the form of her boss monster and the cover card of the new main box Maximum Gustav Max, a rank 10 with 3000 attack and the ability to detach a material to burn the opponent for 1000. Summoning this behemoth is supported by monsters like Night Express Knight, an Ana drop reward that can be normal summoned without tributing, Crane, who can special summon himself from the hand when an Earth machine is summoned and pops a card the opponent controls when detaches an exceed material, Super Express Bullet Train, who could special summon itself from hand if you only controlled Earth machines, and Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede, who could revive an Earth machine from grave on summon, negating its effect, then copy its level for an exceed play. In addition to these tools, Ana has a couple of skills to help with the train strategy, the most useful of which seems to be Unstoppable Train, which lets you normal summon any of your trains without tributing, which can be useful for unbricking a hand without a starter, but locks you into only train monsters in the main deck. Sunrise Express, which is a draw sense for train monsters that can be used if you start the duel with 3 or more targets in deck. And Engine Power Overlimit, which is an OTK pushing skill that gives rank 10 piercing and an additional material from hand, but destroys it during the end phase. Overall, trains are undoubtedly an extremely potent and powerful deck going second, but lacks any form of plays going first to be considered for the current meta, especially with so much disruption from the top tiers currently. If they had received their boss monster Super Dora here, I'd be more inclined to rank them higher, but without her the deck doesn't feel like it has legs. If you want trains, prioritize unlocking 3 Night Express Knight while the Ana event is here, then go for 3 Crane, 2 to 3 Bullet Train, 2 to 3 Flying Pegasus, and 2 Gustav Max. As if to target my interest specifically with this box, we received new archetypes and waves of support here for fan favorites from the previous few boxes, and even a couple of support pieces for much older decks. Metalfoes are the second big archetype of the box, a series of vanilla pendulum monsters that can destroy face-up cards with their pendulum effects to set Metalfoes spell and traps from the deck, enabling fusion plays with Metalfoes Fusion. This intro wave gave us the 4 vanilla main deck monsters, the first 5 fusions, Metalfoes Fusion, Counter, and Combination. Their 2 boss monsters here are Mithrilium, taking a Metalfoe and a Pendulum monster, which shuffles 2 Metalfoe cards from the grave back into deck to bounce a card on field to hand, floating into a Metalfoe and grave for face-up extra deck on going to grave, and Alcahest, taking a Metalfoe and a normal monster, serving as a quick effect relinquished on the opponent's turn. As much as I absolutely love Metalfoe as a deck, I don't think we'll be seeing them in the meta here for 2 reasons. Number 1, a couple of key support pieces were missing in this wave, specifically Metalfoes Fusion, which would let you summon Alcahest on the opponent's turn and serve as an additional fusion spell to use, but much more importantly, number 2, the Pendulum mechanic in Duel Links only lets you special summon 1 monster from the extra deck per Pendulum summon, which hurts Metalfoes specifically as you would generally pop your scales to search, then bring them back all at once for fusion plays. The deck does have potential as an enabler for decks that like their cards destroyed, such as Yang Zing, but as its own build it still has some major hurdles to overcome. More importantly, Metalfoes Fusion specifically has applications in other decks, such as Witchcrafter, thanks to its ability to shuffle itself from grave into deck once per turn to draw one. If going for Metalfoe, grab 3 of each vanilla and 2 of each fusion. The rest will come naturally as rares and commons. Red Eyes here got their selection box cards released in addition to a new fusion boss monster in Meteor Black Comet Dragon, a fusion of a level 7 Red Eyes and a level 6 dragon, able to be summoned with Red Eyes Fusion, burning for half the attack of one of its materials on summon, floating into a normal monster in grave on being sent to grave. While a decent burn effect, without Inferno Fire Blast in the game, Meteor Comet is not the FTK enabler many would expect, meaning that Archfiend Black Skull Dragon is still the better boss in most cases for a Red Eyes Fusion build. Grab one if interested. Metaphys received 3 new pieces of support here in Horus, a synchro that gains effects based on what kind of monsters are used to summon it, being normal, effect, and pendulum monsters, Decoy Dragon, who special summons a banished Metaphys monster when it's attacked in the main monster zone, or when any of your monsters is attacked while it's in the pendulum zone by banishing itself, summoning itself the turn after it's banished. And Ascension, which lets you discard a Metaphys card to draw a card, then banish a Metaphys card from deck, searching for a Metaphys card when banished itself. Decoy and Ascension are great pieces of support for Metaphys, but won't make them meta, although they are greatly received. Horus, however, doesn't seem to fit into Metaphys at all, seeming like it would fit better in a Metalfoe Yang Zing hybrid deck. Grab 1 Horus just in case, 2 to 3 Ascension if interested in Metaphys. Box of Friends is a deck focused around summoning 0 attack and defense normal monsters to enable the Exceed monster Princess Cologne. A rank 4 that summons Box of Friends from grave on summon, can detach a material when a normal monster is destroyed to summon another normal monster from deck, and can't be targeted by attacks or card effects while you control another monster. The most interesting piece of this is definitely Princess Cologne, as her materials to summon can be any 2 level 4s, making it so that any deck capable of summoning 2 rank 4s in a turn can place 2 on board and create an attack lock, which would be very difficult to break due to their targeting protection as well. Personally, I'd pick up 2, as this application does hold promise. Ritual's got a few new pieces of support, both in general support and archetypal support. For general support, the biggest piece here is Manju, who can search for a ritual monster or spell on normal summon, instantly becoming a staple for any ritual deck as a piece of consistency. For more specific archetypes, the big one here is Nekroz, receiving their boss monster Trishula, who can be discarded to negate any effect targeting a Nekroz, or, on summon, banishes a card from the opponent's field, hand, and grave without targeting. But you must be able to banish one from each to resolve it. This is the card Nekroz needed to actually have an impact, as now you have a monster with a decent stat line that does something proactively against any deck. The other ritual archetype here is Demise and Ruin, receiving their level 10 variant and the quick play spell to ritual summon them using a monster in hand. These monsters, while powerful, are far too cumbersome to see any reasonable play, so they'll fall out just as fast as they're introduced. Grab 3 Manchu no matter what as a ritual enabler, then get 2 to 3 Trishula if you're interested in Nekroz. Fiendish Rhino Warrior is easily the second best monster Konami could have added for Burning Abyss, with the first being Tour Guide. A normal summon that doesn't turn off your Burning Abyss special summon effects, and dumps a Burning Abyss from deck when sent to grave. Easily a 3-of for any Burning Abyss deck now. Lastly, Despots received all of their remaining support here in the rares and normals section, being Despots 5 through 8 and base. This won't change anything about their meta placement, but it is nice to finally have the entire deck accessible in Duel Links. Overall, Maximum Gustav is shaping up to be a solid all-around box. There aren't any major meta warping shakeups here, but a lot of generally good support for archetypes that were on the verge of playability before with Nekroz and Burning Abyss, as well as new archetypes to experiment with in Trains and Metalfoes. I am greatly looking forward to see how this release changes our meta landscape considering how big of a hit the community took with the release of Master Duel. Thank you all for watching to the very end of this video. For those who've missed it, I have a new series of shorts uploading every other weekday to the channel under the series 1 Minute History. This will be a regular series on my channel for a while, as work with my current job has ramped up and I only have time for short editing spurts right now, which these fit perfectly. Zexal Part 1 is done with audio recording, so all that's left is the actual video editing. Hopefully we'll have that out sometime in March. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more like it. If you want more updates on the behind the scenes for these, or just into what's going on with me, be sure to follow me on Twitter or check out my Twitch streams, whenever they happen. Both links are in the description below. Thank you all again, and I'll see you next time.